and says, so you want to be a rock star? Well, you can be if you've got the money.
And a Disney classic brings all of this. You've been to the record store.
Well, it's the first album of a local group called Friday Nights.
A local group here?
Sure, it takes big money to put these things out, and they're taking a gamble here.
Okay.
Let me tell you about it. Folks, all small businessmen have similar problems, like, for example, startup costs. Doctors and lawyers and shopkeepers and even rock and roll bands are all small businessmen. They have one thing in common: it costs money to get started. It's tough trying to make it in the world of rock and roll. The crowds can be tough, and the finances can be tough. This Broward County group is called Friday Nights, but they know the business isn't as glamorous as shining armor and dashing steeds. This performance at a Fort Lauderdale bar earned them a total of just $80. But they are hoping for more, because each appearance could mean more record sales, and they have to sell thousands to turn a profit.
We do a lot of benefits because that puts you out in front of a lot of people real quick. We did a March of Dimes benefit for about 5,000 people. So it gets the name known real well. You don't get paid for it, but as a businessman, you know that we get to write that off as a business expense anyway. It is an investment in the future.
It cost the group and its business manager $8,000 to produce the first 1,000 copies of its album. That's $8 each. The label is called Frog Leg Records. So you want to be a rock and roll star. That doesn't mean that every record store wants to sell your album. They had to strike a deal. The records are sold on consignment.
We asked for $5 back for Frog Leg Records, and then they keep $2.99 because they sell them for $7.99.
Is that a fair deal?
We don't think so, but it helps sell our albums.
Is that what you got to do to get started?
That's what we have to do. We have to eat a loss at first, but once we get the next batch of albums in and we do start selling them, then we will make some money.
In the music business, the more albums sold, the lower the cost per album and the bigger the profit per album. Well, Friday Nights will play at the Thunderbird Swap Shop tomorrow, folks. They'll have copies of their album to sell.
News 4 at 5:30.